we're going to take a test over the Pythagorean theorem. So as we go over our test review, you can get it signed for those 5 bonus points as long as you turn it in on the day of the test. So I'm going to run through this review with you. If you have any questions, let me know. Which measures could be the side lengths of a right triangle? So when we talked about Pythagorean theorem, we said if we add a square and add the 2 short sides, we should get the long side squared. So the easiest way to do this is look for a true-false statement in your calculator. So we know if you look, these are already in numerical order, which is very nice. Sometimes they're not, so be careful. So 7 squared plus 21 squared, does that equal 25 squared? No. 30 squared plus 72 squared, does that equal 78 squared? Yes. Check the other ones just to be sure. 3 squared plus 5 squared equals 9 squared. No. And 7 squared plus 25 squared equals 26 squared. And no. So it is going to be B. So sometimes you'll see these with numbers listed out like this. Sometimes they'll do it with the boxes. So maybe they gave you the boxes like this. And maybe sometimes they'll give you the area on some of them. So if we're looking at C, maybe they give you this one is 81, meters squared, and they tell you that this is 5 and this is 3, and you can decide if that's a right triangle or not. We talked about scale drawings. On the floor, scale 1 inch is 3 feet, so be very careful with that. What are the actual dimensions of the room? Well, this is a right triangle. They give you C and A. You need to first find B because this is our length and this is our width. So we need to write our formula and we need to plug it in. So 3 squared plus B squared equals 5 squared. We do know that this is a Pythagorean triple. We're going to show the work anyway. 25 minus 9. So B squared equals 16. Take the square root. So B is 4. Now, that is not our answer though, because if 1 inch is 3 feet, we need to convert these. So I have 3 inches, so I need to say times 3, 4 times 3. So this is going to be 9 feet by 12 feet. So make sure you do that last step, because if you notice, 3 by 4 is a answer choice. We talked about finding the diagonal distance on a coordinate plane, and in order to do that, you need to go ahead and draw your triangle. So this is 1, 2, 3 on this side length, 1, 2, 3, 4 on this side length, and we are trying to find C. So A squared plus B squared equals C squared. And again, this is our same Pythagorean triple. I still want to see your work. You can still use your calculator to double check your work as well. So C is 5. Now this would be a griddable, so I would want to see the answer on your paper, and then you would have to bubble it in on your Scantron. Large pine tree struck by lightning, fell over. What is the height? Oh, before it fell. So this is going to be 2 steps. First, we have to do Pythagorean theorem. We're looking for C. So 13 squared plus 8 squared equals C squared. 13 squared is 169. 8 squared is 164. Add those together, 13, 13, 233, and don't forget to take the square root. I can check my work here. I can say 13 squared plus 8 squared is in fact 233. Control squared to get my square root, 233. Remember, we're going to round to the nearest tenth. So this is 15.26. Means C is going to be 15.3, but that is not our answer. That is just C. So if this is 15.3, what was it before it fell? I need to take these 2 pieces and add them. So 15 and 8 is 23.3 feet is my final answer. So make sure you're reading for details. If this is multiple choice, I promise you 15.3 would be an answer selection. On the next page, A rectangular park has been constructed in downtown San Antonio. They want to put a gravel walkway that cuts diagonally through the park. The width is 8 feet and the height is 6 feet. What is the length of the walkway? So again, looking for C. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. 6 squared plus 8 squared equals C squared. 36 plus 64 equals C squared. 100 equals C squared. Square root of 100 is 10. So the walkway is 10 feet long. Now, again, this is a version of the 3, 4, 5 Pythagorean triple because this is 3 times 2, 4 times 2, and 5 times 2. But still show the work. Each diagram, A is parallel to B, and T intersects. So T is our transversal. So if we're looking at these, it says based on the diagram, which of these is true? It's very wordy, so make sure you're reading all parts of the answer choices. If I'm looking here, these are alternate exterior, and they are equal. Here, again, alternate exterior. Remember, they're on the outside of the parallel lines, and they're opposite sides of the transversal. We can see that those are equal. Alternate exterior, again, they are equal. So what should X be? Well, based on our pattern here, if it's alternate exterior and they're equal, X should be 115. So if you look, there's actually only one choice that says that. X should be 115 because the angles in the diagram are congruent. Yes, they are. This one doesn't make sense, 65, because the angles shown in the diagram add up to 180. That would be if they were supplementary. So that would be, right here, 86 plus this angle. And that is not the case. 120, because the measures in the diagram should add up to 360. No, 360 is a circle. Remember, all our lines are always 180 degrees. 86, because the measure of the angle and the diagram shown are both 86. Well, if we're talking about this one, yes, but we were talking about X, so we were over here. 4 triangles are shown. So you can see this is our exterior angle. Remember, is equal to the 2 remote, or the sum of the 2 remote interior angles. So that's what this is showing. So we could write 110 equals 60 plus 50. Here we're seeing that 148 is equal to 58 plus 90. 115 is equal to 54 plus 61. So they're asking us about X. Well, based on this, remember the exterior angle is the sum of the interior. So we're going to have to say 130 plus 37, which gives us 167. X is 13. Well, no, this interior piece is 13 because a triangle is equal to 180, but that's not what they're asking about. And you can see 130 plus 37 equals 67, and 180 minus 67. Again, if they wanted the interior angle, yes. But they're asking about the exterior. So 167 because 180 minus 130 plus 37 equals 13, and 180 minus 13 is 67. So they found all the interior angles, and then they said this is supplementary. So then they subtracted it from 180. Okay. 347 makes no sense at all. They took the exterior angle plus the triangle. And then 87, they forgot to do anything with this 37 there. Which set of squares could form a right triangle? So we looked at one of these earlier. So notice that they're giving you all side lengths. And this is going to go back to question number 1 that we talked about. So you can, if we're going to set it up, remember 4 squared plus 5 squared equals 7 squared. I'm going to go ahead and write them out, and then we can use our calculator to check. So remember, the smaller, 2 smaller ones squared needs to equal the larger one squared. So 1.5 squared plus 2 squared equals 2.5 squared. And 3 squared plus 3 squared equals 5 squared. So we're just going to go back. We've set them up and see what we can do. 4 squared plus 5 squared equals 7 squared. No. 3.5 squared plus 4 squared equals 4.5 squared. No. 1.5 squared plus 2 squared equals 2.5 squared. Yes. Double check the last one. 3 squared plus 3 squared equals 5 squared. No. All right. So that's the end of the review. Make sure you're double checking your notes as well. We took quite a few notes on these. And if you have any questions, please let me know.